Hey there guys, my name is Luke. Welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. Now today this is a Bushcraft episode. In the past, just recently, we took a look at ground stoves. Today, we are talking about elevated stoves. Elevated stoves take more time to construct. They're sturdier, stronger, more robust, and let's begin right now. Now for this episode, I recommend 3 tools. Of course, you don't have to have these, but they will help out in certain situations and at times. First off, a good hatchet is always needed. A good knife is always needed. And a good handsaw is always appreciated. You know, folks, there are times when you're out in the forest and you're working with dry wood where you really need to go slow. You need to be methodical because swinging this can destroy your hopes of getting your setup complete. Think of it as forest foreplay. Take your time, go slow. Of course, the materials that you are personally using will dictate how quick, how hard you can go. Sounds messed up. Ultimately, it depends on the materials that you're using as to which method will work best. Whoa, hummingbird. Whoa, hey dude. Hi. What are you doing? All right, see ya. That's cool. All right, guys, let's get started. Now, to start off here, everyone, I've gone out and I've been collecting a bunch of wood here. As you guys can see, you need to collect the type of wood to fit the type of stove that you are going to build. In this episode here, we are going over multiple types of stove setups, starting with the yardarm. The yardarm setup is very, very simple. This is one of the easiest to do, and it really does work well. As you can see here, I have my fire pit. The yardarm setup is very simple. As you can see here, you take your stick, you hammer this into the ground over your fire, and from here, you support your pot. You can hang this with a chain, you can hang this with a wire, and in some cases, even a rope. You dangle the pot over your fire, you can boil your water, you can cook your food, whatever it is that you want to do. Sharpen the end so it easily goes into the ground. On the other end, go ahead and take some time to clean this up as well. I mean, think about this. Your pot will be hanging right below this, so clean this up a little bit. Knock off the dirt, scrape off the bark. If there is bark, in life nothing is perfect, so do the best job that you can. So, my plan is to hammer this into the ground like so, and here on this end, I'm going to support my pot. So, I'm going to take my knife, and I'm going to create a notch. And that's just a simple little notch so that the wire, the chain, the cordage that I use will get stuck in that notch and not slide around. Think of this as giving stability to your hanging pot. Now, let's take our yardarm and figure out where exactly we want to have it. Now, of course, you can use a longer yardarm depending on the size of your fire. In this case here, my fire would be technically pretty small, so I like going in at a pretty sharp angle like so. I could take my foot, I could put it right on the end. I'm not putting any pressure on there. I'm just simply holding this into place, using my hatchet to bang it into the ground like so. So here's the fire pit, here's the yard arm. As you can see, it's hanging over the fire. Now here in this situation, my fire pit's so big that I could have the majority of the fire away from the yard arm. I could scoot over the coals and have the sticks, the flames exactly where I want them to match up with my pot. So we have the yard arm in place, but let's say that we are cooking a substantial meal, something that's rather heavy. You could put your trust in this, but it's always a good idea to brace this. So you could chop a log into 4 pieces. You can take 1/4 of it and shove it in there, just like so. That will give your yard arm a lot of support. Then you can take a log and put it on the other side, just like so, and this thing is not going anywhere. So let's take a closer look at that. You can see there exactly just how perfectly that fits, right? Take your other log, put it right on top, and bam, your yard arm is fully supported. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so we have the yard arm fully set up, it's fully supported. Now we can hang our pot from it. The easiest way to go about hanging your pot is with wire, just like this. Now, I believe this is for like hobby use. This is like hobby wire. I guess you can even use it for like jewelry. You can find this in like most hobby sections of like Walmart, Michael's, or something like that. what you have here is just a spool of wire. This is something that I always have with me for my adventures because you never know when you need some wire, and times do pop up where you need some wire. So here you can take this roll, you can get the right length for your supported pot. I think that looks pretty good. Then you can wrap around that notch that you made. So from there, you can then support your pot the right distance from your fire. Suspended over your fire pit, over the fire. You can move your coals, sticks, and so on underneath your pot. You can boil your water nice and easy. With your pot, make sure to put a lid on it. That keeps the dirt and junk out of it. Let's say your water's boiling, your food is done. You can simply pull the stick out of the way. You can move the support at the bottom. This way your pot can cool down and you can eat, drink, whatever. So right there you have it. That is the yard arm. As mentioned before, that is super, super simple to set up. That really is kindergarten, right? Let's move on to one that's a little bit more complex. Now for this video, I am showing you guys 2 examples because these do take a while to set up. With this one here, that is especially true. For the next setup, this is what I call the dual tripod stove. Now you can see here that I have this very long, thin stick. As a whole, this stick is very weak, but when cut down and tied together, it becomes very strong. To cut this, I will use my hand saw, make things nice and easy. It's all about the foreplay here. If I was to whack on this with my axe, it would just fly to pieces. So I'm taking my first piece, roughly measuring it. It doesn't have to be perfect, not by any means. Measuring each piece here will minimize waste, which is very important when it comes to your materials. So what I have here are 6 pieces. You know, what's amazing is that I eyeballed that perfectly and they're all the exact same size. Now you need some cordage because you are tying these together to make tripods. Right here inside of this bag, this is my cordage bag. I have some 550 cord. Each one of these is in a 6-foot section. Now what I'm doing here, I am tying a slip knot into the end. Perfect, just like so. This makes things nice and easy. Of course, you don't have to do a slip knot. You could do anything you want to. You could just tie a regular knot. So in both of those sections, I will have a slip knot on one end. So there we go, slip knot, perfect. Now tripods, they are pretty simple. You take 3 pieces of wood, you tie them together, and it makes for a very stable platform for you to build upon. So to start off, take one of those sticks. You can pull your rope around it. You can do the slip knot, tie a knot, whatever you want to do. And begin lashing them together. If you've never done one of these before, don't worry about it. When you go to actually do this yourself, it's very, very simple. Don't overthink it. Just lash it all together. Make it nice and secure. So right there we have it, is our first tripod, all lashed together. And as you can see, I have quite a bit of cordage left over. For now, I'm going to put that to the side and I'm going to form another tripod. Remember, this is the dual tripod setup. So slip knot right at the top, pull it nice and tight. Bring in your second piece, wrap around it. Lash it all together, guys. Doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty. Forget about that. It's all about being functional, folks. You know, here with my channel and the videos that I do in regards to bushcraft, I've always referred to it as real bushcraft. There is a difference between real bushcraft and the fake stuff. And unfortunately, there's a lot of fake stuff out there. We have our 2 tripods ready to go. So let's take the last one that we put together. And now let's connect another beam to it. Something like that will be perfect. Ah yes, tripod, the support, another tripod on this side. Oh yeah, we are ready to cook. So we have all of this leftover cordage, right? Go ahead and lash the support in to place. Don't do anything super duper tight because it doesn't have to be super duper tight. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we have one tripod attached. Here's the support. Let's attach the second tripod. Again folks, it does not have to be pretty, it just has to be stable. It's all set up, ready to go. This is the dual tripod stove setup. So once you have this all set up, from the center, you can hang your pot right over your fire. Now, as you can see here, I use very lightweight sticks for this. You can use much larger diameter sticks. You can make this much more heavy. You can make this much more robust and secure. It's all about the materials that you have at your disposal. All right, everybody, that pretty much wraps it up. Right there you have two examples of elevated stoves. In the future, I will have more for you all. What do you guys think about the two examples that I've given you, and what would you guys like to see in the future? You know, here with the Outdoor Gear Review, and when it comes to bushcraft, I really like to focus on real bushcraft. You know, not that fake stuff that you see on TV where you have like 100 guys working on one project. This is one person with the elements, with real materials, and a realistic time frame. Guys, until next time, everyone take care, strength and honor. I'll see you guys around.